Hello, everyone. The one called Fate knocks at your door. We're back with another episode of Tabletop Recap. I'm your host, Hunt, and we also have Big Boy Chungus with us here today.
I don't want to wear my mask.
I don't want to wear my mask. What are you, a boomer?
I have a booming voice.
Okay, boomer. All right, but today we're talking about a game that's familiar yet new. The Dungeons and Dragons miniatures game. I hadn't played this since like high school, and I decided I was going to buy a starter set because I didn't have any of my own stuff. I played with other people's stuff. I had a lot of Star Wars miniatures, which is basically the same game, but I wanted to get the Dungeons and Dragons version, so I got to start. Let's roll for initiative. Did you see that? That was so weird. You rolled a 4, and then I rolled a 12 for like half a second, and then it just flopped over because it was on the edge of the fold out. So you can go first or pass it off or whatever.
I'll pass it on to you. You know more about these rules than I do.
Yeah, so when I bought the starter set, they were like $300 on Amazon, and I was like, no way. So I went onto eBay where they were more around like $50. And one guy was like, oh, I'm selling mine for $53, but I'll take best offer. Best offer my butt. He wouldn't take anything lower than 50. His counter offer every single time was 50. And I was like, if you're going to sell an item for $53, don't make the lowest thing you'll sell it for on best offer 50.
Yeah, no one's going to walk up to you and give you more than what you're offering.
I thought for sure I'd get it for 45, but nope. Like, basically the same price.
You, sir, are a liar.
Not a liar. He's just
not doing it right. I'll take best offer. Well, the best I can do is 45. No, I want 50. You're a liar, sir. That's my best offer.
Why did you put best offer if you weren't going to take best offers? Like 45 was a perfectly acceptable offer. But yeah, the starter set comes with 2 different teams, but only 5 minis. I don't really like it when starter sets come with uneven teams, but I think that one of the miniatures was supposed to count as 2. So the mammal team, as I like to call it, gets an elf warlock, a human sellsword, and an overpowered dwarf battlemaster. And then with this starter set, the reptile team gets a Yuan-Ti swift scale and a young green dragon. We could have used that young green dragon miniature when we ran Rick and Morty twice. Yeah. But yeah, so we played a few rounds. Mammals won every time.
That Battlemaster was just too broke.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Battlemaster's extra damage, I would have beat you, because when I got bloodied, I got my cone poison breath attack back.
Yeah,
that's because I had your miniatures right where I wanted them. Remember, I was like set up at the bridge, and I forced you to come down the bridge where my cone attack would hit the whole bridge. And so, like, I had you exactly where I wanted you, but that Dwarven Battlemaster's freaking ability.
I think it has the highest health out of any. He has higher health than the dragon, and he has at least 2 attacks that hit hard, and then 1 supporting ability that allows creatures to deal extra damage.
No, the dragon has more.
But only just?
More health, yeah. 60 against 65.
So that's still pretty good. Plus, you consider that the Battlemaster has like 3 main attacks and 2 abilities that allow your opponents to deal extra damage and do extra stuff when criticals are rolled. And all the dragon can do is fly, breathe, and bite.
Yeah. But they're all pretty good.
I feel like that Yuan-Ti is supposed to be played with other Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, well, I think I might try to find a miniature lot that has cards with it, because I have other miniatures from this game, but they're all like singles I bought that didn't have the card included. So I need to get more with the cards so we can actually build teams. But I am used to building teams because, once again, I have the Star Wars miniatures game, which is basically the same game, but this one's rules differ a tiny bit because it has Dungeons and Dragons stuff in it. So you start the game with 200 points, and in the upper left-hand corner of each card is their point value, and you can build up to a 200-point team. You're supposed to share a faction, but I don't really care about that. I just let people use whatever they want. But if you share a faction, it's more likely that they can boost each other's abilities.
Right.
You can't have any more than 10 on your side. No single creature above 150 points, and you can only play on 1 battle map. But this set does come with 4 battle maps, which I felt like was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
2 different 2-sided mats, and we can totally use them for just regular table TTRPGs too. So to set up a battle, you reveal your warbands and your potential battle map, and you roll a d20. The higher champion rating rolls twice, and the player with the highest result chooses which battle map to play on. And then the next player chooses a start area. The player places his or her warband in the labeled start area of his or her choice, and the opponent places his or her warband in the other starting area. I think the thing about picking the map, I mean, we didn't pick the map that way. We were just like, I was just like, what map do you want? And you said Dwarven Forge, and I said, okay, we'll use Dwarven Forge. Whatever. I don't care. There's also an initiative check to see who goes first. It's the same thing. The higher champion rolls twice, which would have been the dwarf. But we just did a heads tails because this way
it's easier and simpler.
Yeah, it's just easier. So what's the point? And it gives the person with the stronger champion advantage for some reason, which doesn't seem fair.
No,
it's not really fair. It's like, if your minis are better, you have a higher chance of going first. What? That's not balanced. Yeah, but on the first player's turn, they activate a creature. The next player's turn, they activate 2 creatures, one at a time. And then that first player activates 2 more creatures, one that they haven't activated. And the next player activates 2 more creatures that they haven't activated. I think it would be easier if you just activated all your creatures at once and went back and forth, to be completely honest. And if you're okay with that, do you want to just play it that way from now on?
Yeah, that'd probably be better.
Because we played it the proper way today so we could do the review, but yeah, the other ways.
Some of these rules I think are a little bit dated.
Yeah. And when all the creatures have activated once, the round ends and you start again at step 1. But then on its activation, a creature takes one of each of the following actions in any order: their move action and their attack action. It's actually a really simple game. I remembered the rules from high school. Like, the rules aren't hard to learn at all. Once again, I remembered them from high school. You learned them and caught on incredibly quickly. And we just kind of went back and forth, played a few rounds until we were on. I mean, I could have already done an episode on it because I remembered it pretty well. But I wanted to have a co-host, so we needed to play. And I'm glad I got a copy of the game for myself instead of just playing other people's. But it's basically the same rules as Star Wars Miniatures, but with some Dungeons & Dragons things thrown in, like the initiative, and also crits. Like, if you roll a 20, your attack automatically hits, and it does double damage. If you roll a 1, your attack does not hit, no matter what. And things like that. You also have armor class and defense. Not sure why there's an armor class and a defense. Some attacks hit defense, and some attacks hit armor class. And it doesn't seem like you need both. It seems like armor class is just there because that's something in the TTRPG.
Did this come out when Gen 4 was still a big thing?
I'm thinking 3.5.
Because I remember watching a video that 3.5 and 4, they had multiple different forms of armor. Like, you had regular AC, but you also had, like, flat-footed AC, your physical defense, and then there was, like, your armor class that included your agility or dexterity. So I'm wondering if that's just a relic from previous editions.
I don't know, man. I haven't played 3.5 since high school, and I don't think I've ever played 4. So that's that. But yeah, that's the basics of the rules. We kind of just played versus, where it's like, hey, you know, here's how to win. The 2 competing warbands fight, and you got to score a number of victory points, and you score victory points by eliminating creatures, and etc. So we basically just played full elimination the whole time, instead of scoring the victory points in the victory area. We never even made it to the victory area because we were too busy slugging at each other.
Yeah, with the minis that we had and just the 2 of us, it was much easier to come to a conclusion just by TPKing one party or the other.
If we had bigger armies, we would have definitely, in our playstyle, targeted the victory area more. But when you only have 5 miniatures to split between you, splitting them up between combat and the victory area will destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, it'll destroy you. So you need more. You need bigger teams if you want to try to get the victory points more. So we just kind of tried to wipe each other out. So, yeah, we just need more miniatures so we can play it more like it's supposed to be played. Like, I have a box full of Star Wars miniatures, but I need more of the D&D ones. Well, actually, the last thing on the planet I need is more Dungeons & Dragons miniatures. But for this point in the game, that would be good. But yeah, the starter set came with 4 double-sided maps, 5 exclusive miniatures that you can only get in the set, and their ability cards, damage counters, a d20, and the rule book, which were all very useful. Except the damage counters, we just use dice because it's easier.
Yeah.
But yeah. What did you think of the game? I basically said what I think of the game. You say
I thought it was fun. It's definitely if you're more interested in the combat and tactics of Dungeons and Dragons, the game, I could see where you could enjoy a lot of this, especially if you're just a murder hobo who likes running gauntlets.
Yeah, if you want the D&D without the role playing, this is the game for you.
Yeah, and I even was talking a little bit how maybe we could play around with some of the rules and take some of our minis that aren't associated with the game, just the actual D&D minis, and use their stats from the monster books. Probably wouldn't work as smoothly.
It would not work.
But it could be something we could work on as a little pet project. Just tweak the stats a little bit. At the very least, it could tide us over until we are able to find some more minis for the game.
So you like the game?
I love the game.
You love the game? Oh, I didn't expect such high praise, actually.
I'm easy to please.
It is Dungeons and Dragons themed, so I automatically simp for it.
Shut up.
So yeah, it's a really fun game. I kind of wish it came with 2 D20s, because if this is the only D20 you have, you kind of have to pass it back and forth. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of not super cool. And once again, we do need to play with higher minis, but this is a game I played several times in high school and really loved. I like these kind of war games where you have to build your army and pit them against each other. Those are my favorite type of tabletop games. I mean, most of the episodes in this show are about TTRPGs, yes, but these are really my favorite kind of games. The problem is these are usually also the most expensive kind.
Yeah.
Especially like Warhammer. Warhammer would be a good example of one of these games, and that's like the most expensive tabletop game.
That is your hobby, and in some cases, your life.
Yeah, like G wants to start that game, and we were like, good luck. We're not going to buy any miniatures. If you want us to play, man, you got to pay for it all. We're going to put that on your shoulders.
Since we're brothers, I might front him a birthday or a Christmas gift, but that's what he's going to get.
Yeah.
That's all he'll get.
Because I've bought plenty of games. I paid entirely for HeroClix. I paid entirely for Star Wars miniatures. I paid entirely for Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. I paid entirely for Call of Cthulhu. You guys owe me one now. Well, you're basically paying entirely for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'm buying as many books and miniatures as I can. We actually just got done watching a video on the Icewind Dale.
Oh yeah, the Gallant
set.
Goblin. Great YouTube channel. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get some of the Icewind Dale figures.
We need to play that adventure.
And I am going to get that. I think the book is like $30. It's one of the smaller campaigns.
It's a 1 to 12, I think.
That's just shy of how long the Descent into Avernus is. But I don't think Icewind Dale has as much. I think it's more linear than Avernus, which starts off with an open city and then ends with an open world.
Yeah.
But I love the gnolls. I love the kobolds. When I saw the artwork of the 3 kobolds standing on top of each other under a trench coat, and I'm like, I'm going to make a character like that one day.
Yeah, like we were looking at that, and I was like, you would have so much fun playing that NPC.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So we definitely need to get Icewind Dale. It looks like one of the coolest adventures in a while. Our friend Steven, who was he wasn't present for it, but he was mentioned in the Bork and Spork episode of our podcast. He's about to run Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden right now. He just finished Curse of Strahd for his group, and they're going to run that as the very next thing.
And then on top of that, there's a couple other premium minis I need to get. So you've pretty much convinced me that I need to get the War Machine for Descent into Avernus. Definitely need to get Tiamat.
Yeah, we found a cheap War Machine, and we found a cheep Tiamat.
She wasn't cheap; she was just on sale. None of these figures.
She was normal price,
yeah,
not collector's price, like retail price.
I love all these premium minis, and I don't want to turn this video about a minis game into just about minis, but there's a lot of figures that are going on sale right now, and I hate that I'm going to have to just play it by month because of my paycheck.
Yeah, for sure. That's how we all got to live that life.
The price of being a responsible adult who buys figures.
It's a price I'm not willing to pay. But yeah, Wizards did a good job with this game. It's ages 12 and up, so your kids can play. Feel free to kick their butts, though. You know, it's good for them to lose every once in a while. But yeah, we also picked up several things. We on our YouTube channel, B3 Productions. We just got a bunch of new miniatures. Tell them about your new premium miniatures.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the videos, I bought a Bahamut premium figure from the Tyranny of Dragons set. That was the first premium mini that I had ever purchased, and I love it. It's also the biggest one that I have right now. Then I also purchased the premium figure for the first Monsters Menagerie set, which is the Treant, which I love. It's way more detailed and cooler looking than the actual artwork for the Treant in the book. Plus, it comes with a detachable rock that it's meant to like throw as an attack.
Yeah.
And then I got Chief Guh, which
Guh.
is the most disgusting mini I think I have, and that's saying something when I have
That's
a walking snot monster.
That's really saying something, my dude.
I have a monster that looks like a walking ball of earwax, but Chief Guh is still the most disgusting looking one. And but she's also probably the most niche because she is specifically made for Storm King's Thunder. I mean, I could use her as something else in another expansion, just as a massive immovable monster, but she's just too niche to really use anything concrete, I guess. Like you can't really use her for another hill giant because she's actually too big. And she's not like the other thing about her is she actually is just a mound of flesh. Like if you look at her figure, she has no protruding parts like a Treant. She has no wings or other features like Bahamut does. She's literally just a mound of plastic that looks like a fat humanoid.
Big hill giant girl. Oh, but yeah, I picked up some minis too. I got the dragon turtle from Paizo's Pathfinder. This isn't even my first Pathfinder. You know I have a Pathfinder module.
Yes.
I got, what is it?
I don't remember the name, but I remember you getting it.
I got it at Dragon Con. It was a leftover from
When was the last time you went to Dragon Con?
2016.
That's why I remember you had said something about it years ago, but I'm like, I don't remember what it was. That was like almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a leftover from Free RPG Day, and they were handing them out at Dragon Con. So I have a Pathfinder first edition module that I want to run at some point. It would be fun. I mean, I have it. Why not, right?
I've always wanted to go to Dragon Con, but just now's not the time.
Yeah, it's all online. I think they already had it. Yeah, they already had it. And I also picked up the Descent into Avernus Archon the Cruel miniature set.
Which we are definitely going to use. Well, it's all up to the players whether or not they go there and do that stuff. But if they ever do, we are ready for them.
Yeah, it's got Archon the Cruel. It's got his pet Manticore Chongo. You got the freaking Minotaur, Trovagar Steelfist. It comes with a Arcan's Berserker, the Tortle, Kroll, and also a White Abishai. So we got a lot of new miniatures to game with. And if you want to check them out, check out the Facebook page, which is in the description. I will absolutely be posting pictures of all of these miniatures that we've talked about today on the Facebook page, so you will be able to see all of them. You don't have to worry about that. What?
I'm just playing with my D20s.
Okay. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time.